Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Morning Vibes with me. Today, I'm gonna take you on a ride through one of my favorite kinds of mornings, Those mornings when life just feels like it's running on smooth jazz. Grab your coffee, put your feet up, and let's dive in. So picture this, the sun is barely peeking through the blinds. And I wake up without an alarm clock, no loud buzzing, no snooze button wars. Just me, the sunlight, and that sweet silence that makes you wanna stretch like a lazy cat. Now, usually, I jump out of bed and rush through the morning like a headless chicken. But not on this kind of morning, nope, on mornings like this. I let myself take it slow, I literally roll out of bed instead of springing up. And let me tell you, folks, that makes all the difference. I make my way to the kitchen half awake, hair all over the place like a rock star who just got off stage. And the first thing I do, I put the kettle on. Yep, boiling water is my first mission of the day. Not checking emails, not scrolling through social media, but just making that magical cup of tea. See, in life, sometimes you gotta get your priorities straight. And mine, at least in the morning, is to hold that warm mug between my hands like it's the holy grail. It's not just tea. It's liquid peace. It's my way of saying to the world, hold your horses. I'll deal with you when I'm ready now. As I sip, I start to gather my thoughts. I don't dive into heavy stuff. I don't bite off more than I can chew first thing in the morning. Instead, I just let my brain kick into gear gently. Like starting an old car, no need to slam the accelerator right away. Here's the thing, folks, a favorite morning doesn't mean it's fancy. It doesn't mean breakfast in bed or a spa treatment. Sometimes, it's all about slowing down to smell the coffee or, in my case, the tea. And you know what? When you start the day this way, everything else feels lighter. Problems don't hit as hard. Tasks don't look like mountains, they're just little hills you can take in stride. So if you ever feel like you're constantly running around like a chicken with its head cut off, try giving yourself one of these mornings. Trust me, it's a game changer. And once that tea has worked its magic, I start to feel the gears in my head turning. It's like somebody flipped a switch and suddenly the fog clears. I don't rush to check my phone. Though that's a trap. If you dive straight into notifications, you're basically handing over your mood to other people. And honestly, who wants to start the day by putting out fires that aren't even yours? Instead, I like to just look around my place, maybe tidy up a bit. Nothing hardcore, just picking up socks that somehow managed to end up in the living room. Or washing that mug I left in the sink last night. It's funny how these little chores, the kind you usually put off forever, actually feel kinda soothing. In the morning, they're like warm-ups before the big game. Then, when the vibe is right, I throw on some music. And not just any music, I'm talking about those feel-good tracks that get under your skin and make you want to move your body, even if you're still in pajamas. Sometimes I'll even bust out a silly dance in the kitchen. Who cares? The curtains are closed and the neighbors can mind their own business. That's when I start to cook up breakfast. And let me tell you, breakfast is where the magic really goes down. It doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes it's just toast with peanut butter. Other times, I'll go the whole 9 yards, eggs, bacon, pancakes, the works. Either way, it feels like a little celebration of being alive, of starting fresh. And isn't that what mornings are supposed to be about? And here's the thing, when you treat the morning like this, the rest of the day can throw curveballs at you, but you're still standing tall. You've already carved out that sacred little slice of joy for yourself. You've already set the tone. And no matter how many emails pile up later, no matter who tries to rain on your parade, you've got this reservoir of calm to fall back on. By the time breakfast is done, I feel like the day is already off to a flying start. Not because I've ticked off a bunch of tasks on some endless to-do list, but because I've carved out that sweet little ritual that gets me going. I'm not just feeling my body, I'm feeling my mindset. It's like giving myself a pep talk without even saying a word. Now here's where the fun kicks in. I grab my notebook, the old school kind with real paper and scribbles all over it. And I start jotting down random thoughts. Sometimes it's ideas for projects, sometimes it's doodles that don't make any sense, and sometimes it's just me trying to get stuff off my chest. Writing in the morning is like emptying the junk drawer in your head, so you can make room for the good stuff. And let me tell you, once you get into the groove, ideas start popping up like popcorn. Half of them are crazy, sure, but every now and then you strike gold. That's the beauty of mornings, you're still halfway between dreamland and the real world. So your brain doesn't care about rules. It just throws spaghetti at the wall and hopes something sticks. After that, I usually step outside, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. There's something about fresh air in the morning that really hits different. You breathe in, you breathe out, and suddenly it's like your whole system reboots. The birds are out there doing their thing, the world's still kind of quiet, and you get this weird sense that you're in sync with everything around you. It's grounding. It makes you feel like you're not just caught up in the rat race but actually part of something bigger. And here's the kicker, by the time I head back inside, I'm not stressed, I'm not rushed. I'm not running around like a chicken with its head cut off. I'm just ready to tackle emails, ready to deal with people, ready to face the music. Because deep down, I know I've already won the morning, asterisk, and that's the secret sauce, right? Winning the morning doesn't mean conquering the world. Before breakfast, it means giving yourself the space to actually enjoy the ride. Some people treat mornings like a race. They hit the ground running, they rush out the door. They're already sweating bullets before they even sit down at work. But for me, my favorite mornings are about slowing things down, dialing into the moment, and letting the day unfold without forcing it. I mean, think about it, mornings set the tone. If you start off all over the place, chances are you're gonna drop the ball later. But if you begin by grounding yourself, tea in hand, music in the background, a little scribble in your notebook, you're basically arming yourself for whatever life throws your way. And here's a funny thing I've noticed. People always say they don't have time. I don't have time for breakfast. I don't have time to sit down. I don't have time to breathe. But the truth is, sometimes you spend more time stressing out than it would take to just make a piece of toast and kick back for 5 minutes. It's all about perspective. You can either chase your tail all morning, or you can pause, reset, and step into the day like you actually own it. That's why, when I look back at my favorite mornings, it's never about the things I got done. It's about the way I felt while doing them, calm, centered, present. Like the world wasn't calling the shots for once and I was the one behind the wheel. And honestly, that's priceless. So yeah, my mornings aren't about ticking boxes. They're about laying the foundation. They're about telling myself, hey, you've got this. And when you start your day with that kind of energy, it sticks with you. It's like a song that gets stuck in your head, except this one pushes you forward instead of driving you crazy. By the time the rest of the world wakes up, I'm already there, ready, steady, and smiling. And that's why those slow, intentional mornings will always be my favorite, because no matter what the day has in store, I've already scored my little victory, and that, my friends, is worth its weight in gold.